Thank you very much. This next gentleman who's coming up here is someone who I got to personally speak with, and he took the time to speak with me. He didn't know who I was. I just got to hear about his name, the great Mike Passaglia, and the man who practically invented mortgage protection. And somebody said, he's in California also, you need to speak to him. I'm in Southern California. And I called him, and he didn't know who I was, and he was very, very busy. And I think he took about 45 minutes to speak to me about, and he doesn't even know I was going to say this, to speak to me about what I'm doing, my team. I was basically new with Innovative Financial Group. So just on a personal level, this is a gentleman, and I've watched many of his videos on through One Life America. And so just on a personal level, this is someone who you really want to listen to and take a lot of notes. So it's my honor, my pleasure, and I'm so glad I can do that. Please welcome Mr. Mike Passaglia.
Can you all hear me okay? All right. So, what a great group. Appreciate you all taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. Time is money. I'll do my best to use your time wisely and hopefully give you a few things that help you make a lot more money. And you all are so important to me that I actually have notes for this one, so we'll see how that goes. I have a couple of disclaimers as we get into this. Does anybody have a problem with a couple of swear words? If you have a problem with swearing, raise your hand. Okay, so I want to point out, now have any of you ever sworn? Okay, all right, so cast the first stone. I'm going to warn you, much like if you were at SeaWorld, where the Shamu show and all that, if you sit in the first 2 rows, you might get a little wet. Y'all familiar with that one? All right, well, here's the deal. I'm going to share some real personal stuff with you, and I'm going to read to you from a journal. Those that know me well know I have a passion for the outdoors. This industry has let me take that passion to levels I never even dreamt of. And I keep a journal on every hunt I go on. And if I'm going to be honest and sincere with you, I promise you there'll be maybe 2 swear words, but I think it's important to just read directly as I wrote at the time I wrote it, and I think it'll make sense to you. So Scotty, with all due respect, I hope I'm not ruining the culture, but I apologize in advance for that. So, I need your guys' help. I need my glasses clean. I need your guys' help. And what I need you to do here is really concentrate with me. I need you guys to understand the analogy I'm going to try and share with you today. Life at the top is the subject, and trust me, that's actually me, and believe it or not, that's just recently, but this is not about me at the top. It's about sharing some things with all of you, because at the end of the day, I'm no different than you, and you're no different than me. I'm one of you. I'm a producer at heart. I always have been. I don't care where I go or what I do. Being a producer is always the most relevant thing, because without production, we have nothing. So if I can't be relevant to you, I can't help you, I'm useless to you, that would be when it's time to go. I'm not going anywhere. So I thought to myself, okay, what have I always heard? What did I hear? And a lot of you are top producers, so I'm sure from new people you've heard this. And when I started to build teams, what did I hear from the new people coming in? People would walk in and they would say, I want to be you. They would look right at me and I'd say, what do you want in your career? I want to be you. Right? And I thought, well, you're setting the bar pretty low as far as I'm concerned. But I want to be you, and I thought, okay, what are they saying? What are they thinking, right? And so it dawned on me, they wanted to be me as they saw me sitting there then. When I'd gone from making 6 figures as a producer to making 7 figures as a builder, okay? Things that had happened in my career. You see someone now and you say, I want to be them. I think it's important for them to help you be that and even more. And I thought, how could I possibly help you guys become what you want to be and truly realize once you got there, you can actually be more? How could I do that? And so here's what I came up with. Bear with me through this. I essentially thought, well, in order for you to be me, maybe I could take you back who I was, because that's still me. And we'll see if this works, Dan. Yeah, okay. There I am. What does that represent? A lot of people would say, well, that certainly represents the top of the mountain, right? I mean, that looks like an accomplishment. How many times have you had a great week and gone, yeah, I crushed it? Or done something successful in life, achieved a goal, had that moment of triumph, of giddiness, of pride, right? And that's really what that reflects. But it's funny when we look at pictures, because we tend to take photos when we make it, or when we're happy, or of the good times, right? Which I understand. Who wants to sit and look at a photo album of when things suck the most, right? Oh, here I am miserable because I wasn't making it at this, or here's the trip from hell, you know? And nobody wants that. So I get why we do it, but it's important to understand what this photo was. I was on a sheep hunt for rams up at the very top of British Columbia, and we spotted mountain goats. I had a tag for that too. So the guide says, hey, it's about a 2.5-hour vertical climb, but I think we can get to them, right? Vertical in their world is like that, and it's all rock. I learned the rule of 4. I'm sorry, the rule of 3. The rule of 3. Does anybody know what the rule of 3 is? You know, right? You don't move this limb to the next piece of rock to pull yourself up until you're sure that this one, and this one are anchored firmly. And then once that one's there, you figure out which of these 3 you want to move next, and you make sure 3 of the 4 are anchored, and you take the one and you go, right? Now here's a little thing you might not know. I'm afraid of heights. Ange can't get me on the roof of the house to put up the Christmas lights. I won't do it. She does it. And I thought to myself, how do I overcome a fear of heights? Pursuing a passion. If I can't get over heights to go after something I'm in pursuit of and passionate about, then I have no hope. So I had to try. So this is one of the ways I overcame fear of heights. And so really what this was, we're on our way to this mountain goat, and I said, hey, stop. We got to a place, literally, I'm not obeying the rule of 3 there, but that's because we're on a little bench and a ledge, and we've made it through the scary part. We're kind of up to the easy part now. And I said, take a picture of me. And the guy goes, why? You don't even have the animal yet. We can't even see him. We're an hour from where he might be. I'm like, you don't understand. It's not always about the end. You got to savor the moments where you're breaking through and achieving things. So slow down and recognize those moments on your ascent to your goal, whatever that may be. And so I had him take that photo. That was a big deal, right? So oftentimes, when you're on your way to the top, pay attention to things you knock out that may have been fear points of you, for you on your way to the top. So let's go back. Let's go forward. Dan, which one am I doing wrong? Oh, there, I'm pushing the wrong button. How about that? I'm still, without Dan, I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am today. He was my technology superstar behind me. So, I'm the guy on your left, just so you know, and that was the Navy. So I'll go quickly through this. A lot of you know the story. I went in the service. I wanted to save a little money for college because I was certain I'd know what I wanted to do after I got to 24 years old and saw the world, right? It was an amazing adventure. It was a lot of fun. That's a great friend of mine, Ricky Thomas. He was from South Carolina, and we had a ton of fun together. We were in communications, but you know, I think a lot of people that have said, well, I want to be you. Well, part of being me when they saw me and said that was this. What you are all the way to here, and Chad touched on it earlier, you know, it's a sum of everything is where you are right now. He said that so beautifully, and it really resonated with me. You want to be me? Well, that was me too. So you are the sum of everything you've experienced up to this point, and parts of it shape you and make you how great you've become today and how great you'll become in the future. So this is some of the stuff we saw at sea, and I put this slide in. You can see there's a lot going on, right? But it's choreographed. Do you think there are times in this career where you find yourself adrift at sea? You let yourself get that way. Can you imagine what it would look like if there was no plan, if there was no buy-in, if there was no execution by each person doing their job on the team. What would that look like? What kind of conundrum would we be staring at? Right? And so think about it. If you're in a system, commit to it. Do your job. Trust your leadership. It's a beautiful thing when you're all in harmony. This is what we bring to the table for all of you. This is what it looks like when you follow the system, do your job, and do the best you can. It harmonizes. The helicopters aren't crashing into each other. The ships aren't going the wrong way. Nobody's floating in a circle going, I wonder if there's a better path. They're committed to what they're doing, and they're executing it beautifully. Use it. All right. So what's this one? Well, it's a beautiful picture. And a lot of people would say, that's the top of the mountain, right? And so I show you this picture to show you this picture. Who do you think that guy is? Who do you think that guy is? Good guess. I set you up. It's not me. Here's why it's a good thing it's not me. It's the guy who was flying that. So, what's he doing? He's actually down there marking off whether he's got enough room to go down in that big balloon tire plane with me in the back and go off that ledge and drop but gain altitude. So that was from a sheep hunt on the side. They land on those Alaska bush planes. They land on, that's on the side of a mountain. And I was on a ram hunt in Alaska, and the weather was terrible as it can be up there. So there's a lot of hurry up and wait. You're excited to get in there and get it done and accomplish it and get it going. But sometimes you have to be patient and you have to hurry up and be ready. But sometimes you have to wait. Sometimes you have to be patient. So we waited for a couple days, and the weather broke fairly late at night. And the rule in Alaska is this: if you can get in before midnight, you can hunt the next day. So there's rams on the mountain. We don't want to lose any more hunting days. And the bush pilot says, I think I can get us in. The visibility is probably good enough for me to land on the side of that mountain. And I said, let's go. So we threw our stuff in. We flew about 45 minutes there. And the first time he comes in and he's like, I know it's here, I know it's here, I know it's here. And he peels off and rolls down into the canyon and levels off. And what was really cool is as we leveled off, and my body parts resorted where they should be, I looked out and there was a real big black bear with 2 cubs. One of the coolest things I'd ever seen down at the bottom of the thing. So he circles around again. And he tries again, and the same thing happens. So there's no visibility, and it closed in on us. He goes, you know what? I'm not going to risk it anymore. Unfortunately, we got to head back and try again tomorrow. I voted yes. Right? Good plan. Let's go. But what am I saying about that? What am I saying to you there? What I'm really saying is you have to trust your pilot. You need a good pilot, someone who's knowledgeable, but you have to trust them. You know how hard it is to not want to just grab him? Because you're right against him like this. Your rifle's in your lap. You don't have a lot of room for stuff. Everything you're going to live with for the next week to 10 days is right behind you in your backpack. And so it's hard not to scream or say stop or to try and grab the controls, which would have been a big mistake, right? None of those things help. If you're going to get in and go for the ride, because this industry you're in, folks, I can tell you, I've done it for 30 years. It has been the absolute ride of my life. And if you do it right, if you stay committed, if you endure, which I'll get to in a minute, it will be the ride of your life. And it has given me more than I ever dreamt, tenfold, maybe 50-fold. And if you stay with it, it will give you the same thing. It didn't say, Mike, you're the one. We're going to bestow upon you the 50-fold feeling. It's an equal opportunity giver. It's saying the same thing to you, but you do have to earn it. There are tests along the way. You have to trust. Trust your pilot. With me so far? Pretty easy analogies, right? Okay. By the way, the other thing this industry does for you is it raises whatever your passion is to unbelievable levels. When I was young and growing up, I loved the outdoors. I duck hunted. I guided some hog hunts when I was young. Ducks, small deer, pheasants, hogs. I never dreamt of going into the mountains on plains like this and living out of a backpack for 10 days, hunting rams, seeing grizzly bears, the encounters, the feelings, the challenges, all these things. This is what this industry raises you up to. Whatever your passion is, if you are successful here and stay committed, it will honestly, whatever those passions are, it will take them to unbelievable levels for you. And I know a lot of you will. All of you can. And it still breaks my heart to this day that some of you cut bait and run too early, and it's always for the wrong reasons, and even though they seem right at the time, they were wrong. And I know there's some of you that will be telling me, I remember you saying this, Mike, and you're right. Here's my passion, here's what I used to do, and here's the level I am now because of what this industry's done. And it's really what you've done. It's what you've embraced with this industry. You didn't give up on this industry, and so the industry didn't give up on you. You are with the best organization. You're going to hear a lot of that. I don't need to tell you that. If you don't know that already, dig deeper. Get to know us all better, and make sure you know we're your pilot. You have to trust us. It runs like that picture of all the ships, the aircraft carrier and the helicopters all at once and everything. It is a beautiful machine that we have with Heartland and One Life combined now. There's nothing like it in the industry. It can do it for you. All right, so let's go to this one. I don't like horses. Surprisingly enough, some of them over the years haven't liked me either. And so, maybe it's my fault. Usually it is, I've learned. So, what is this for? Look, I talked about the rule of 3, right? Now you know what the rule of 3 is. Well, on the mountains, you got to get to a lot of places, and you got to go on horseback. So, a lot of the ram hunting we do is clear at the top of these types of things, and some of them have horse trails that get you almost all the way. It's scary when you're sitting on a horse that's 16 or 17 hands high, and it's walking on a trail that's maybe that wide. There's not enough for it to stand like this. There's not enough of it just for you to stand like this. And it's scary because you're higher, so it magnifies it. Like one misstep, and it's huge because you're already up this much higher. And so what you start to do is laugh because you realize the horse doesn't want to die any more than you do at that moment. And the horse knows the rule of 3 also. So luckily for us, they never put their foot down until the other 3 are secure. They always make it. They never miss. They never fall off the ledge. They don't run over the ledge. None of that happens. And you have one job when you're on that horse. Trust your horse. Trust your horse. By the way, the pilot, he didn't want to die any more that night than I did. He didn't want to make a mistake any more than I did. They have a vested interest in our survival, our success. Think about that. We have a vested interest in not just your survival, your success, your evolution, you transcending to amazing levels in this industry and amazing levels in your life. Trust your horse. We're your horse. We really are. We're your pilot, we're your horse. Trust your snowman. No, I'm kidding. I was just seeing if you guys are still paying attention. All right. What do you think this represents? Have fun. Have fun. Have fun along the way. Our business is hard enough. It really is. Our business is hard enough. You gotta find the fun in it. There's a ton of fun in what we do. You get to go meet total strangers in their home, and you never know what you're walking into or what you're gonna see, but you always come out with more than you had before you walked in. Find the fun in all that. Share the stories with each other. Share the stories with me. Make your fun. Let's see. So I want to jump ahead 2 pictures because that was me getting dropped off the next day, hiking to the place where I was going to stay, and those were my living quarters for the next 10 days. What kind of food do you think I ate? It's not like TV where you're like, yeah, today I slayed a caribou and then I carved it up and I cooked it out on my open grill or stove. You eat freeze-dried food. You take the snow, you put it in your little Coleman stove, you boil it into water, you dump the noodles in, and you wolf them down real quick and go to bed because you're exhausted. It's a great weight loss program. Great weight loss program, right? But my point is, I'm going to live there. I'm stuck there. That's my home. So what did I do? I just gathered up some snow and built a snowman and took a picture because I thought it'd be a cute thing to show Angie when I got home. We like to go build a snowman together. Make it fun. Stay connected. Okay, so sometimes in our business you have to make your own snowman. You have to make your fun. You have to see the fun in it. But make sure you do. Enjoy the view. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Take in the sights. Embrace the history and take in the sights around you on your climb up. I remember walking past on my way hiking up, and I came, it's a semi-frozen lake, right? And that old bull caribou died some years back, and I don't think he walked by and took his antlers off and set them there. I thought this would be a cool place to pick them up later. He died there. And all of the wildlife around ate everything except the remains of his antlers. And even if you look close, some of the antler tips are chewed off. Nature uses everything, makes the most of it. And I thought to myself, I'm going to stop and take a picture of this. Savor the sights and the views on the way to the top. On your way, savor those sights and views. I thought about that old bull. I thought about his history, how much he must have seen out there, the life he lived out there, how he overlooked that valley below as he took his last breath and died. And he was preserved, or at least a part of him was preserved, for me to walk by, maybe where no man's had ever walked before, and seen that very thing. Savor the moments on the way to the top. Take pictures, remember them, share them. All right. I come back to this one because when we get into this business, we're giddy. Someone says, you ever thought about selling life insurance? No. Well, check out how much I made last week, $4,800. Yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot. How would I sell it? When can I sell it? I'm looking at you, you're showing me a $4,800 check you just deposited. I know if you can do it, I can do it. How do I get in? Let's get started. Let's go. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to live the dream. Set my own hours, go on lavish trips, create a passive income with millions of people I bring to the opportunity and just chill on a beach and collect money. When do I start? When does that start rolling in? What day do you think this is where I'm taking this picture on this particular hunt? Who wants to take a guess at day one? It's obvious. Look at me. I'm all happy, thumbs up. Hey, I'm here, ready to kill the ram. Let's go get her done. Woohoo! Can't wait. Should be any moment now. And I love it because a lot of you have already drawn this conclusion. For so many of us, when we get into the business, this is how we look on day one. This is what we think it's gonna be easy, right? It's gonna be easy. It's gonna happen. They're doing it, I'm doing it. All I hear is good stuff. Nobody's showing me the photos of getting no-showed, or getting a cancellation, or a replacement, or a lapse, or losing an ink. Nobody's showing me any of those pictures, right? They're all pictures like this, so of course I'm gonna feel it's gonna be like that every day. And it's not. It's not. It's why you have to trust your pilot. It's why you have to trust your horse. It's why you have to trust your guide. Because a lot of you are going into land you're not familiar with, but your guide is incredibly familiar with the land you're about to go go into, with the unknowns that you're about to go into. In fact, your guide has been in and out of there a number of times. Trust your guide. Don't question your guide. I recommend, at least in the hunting world, not to question them out loud, because they get really mad. They take it personal, right? And they can walk you in some bad circles if you do really upset them. So you want your guide to like you. But you can question, why am I supposed to do it this way? Maybe there's an easier way. Maybe there's an easier place, right? You can question, but come back to why you're here and don't leave. Trust. You have to trust. You know why? Why we're doing it this way? Because this is the best way. Because my guide is telling me to go this way. We're going up the mountain this way because the guide said to go this way. We're following this system because the guide knows best. If you trust your guide, beautiful things happen. So yeah, day one. What do you think that's a picture of? Thank you for participating. I have a prize for you later. You are spot on. That is the culmination of many unsuccessful days. Any of you ever had unsuccessful days? Can any of you relate to that picture? Can all of you? Better yet, can anyone not relate to that picture if you've been in this business more than a couple of months? Right? Or a couple of days? Folks, that's called day 9. That was day 9. Let's just recap. Day 1. Day 9. You're going to have, folks, in this business, you're going to have a day 9. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. Many of you have. You've endured, right? In life, you're going to have some day 9s. How do you know the good days if you don't know the bad days? How do you celebrate the good days that come behind the bad days if you just quit every time there's a bad day? If you don't endure the bad days, if you don't rise to the challenge, you're being tested, you're being forged by fire. Are you worthy? Is it over for you? Is this it? Or are you ready to rise up and overcome? What's it going to be for you? That was day 9 for me. Let me just give you a moment to set the stage for day 9 on this particular sheep hunt. This particular sheep hunt, every day was the same. It was about a 2-hour horse ride, down some rocky, unstable stuff, up around the little trails I told you about. Then anywhere from a 2 to 4 hour climb, some of it vertical, some of it just side hilling, right? And then you get into these beautiful waterfall basins. I mean, they're awesome, but I advise you to just see them from a helicopter tour. If you're ever anywhere like, I won't say, but if you're ever anywhere where there's mountains and snow and glaciers in your future, do it in helicopter, if you can help it, right? But for me, looking for the ram, that's where they feed. Because those glaciers turn into water, there's basins, that's where the grass grows. So you got to climb up there and look in. And after a few days, it's not pretty anymore. And you're hungry. You really do want to go to Ruth Chris and have a steak, right? The noodles are getting worse by the day. So the other thing I wasn't prepared for on this particular hunt, we've all had blisters, right? Where do you get them? The heel or the toe? There was so much side hilling, I had blisters on the sides of my feet. They were like hamburger. Chad mentioned duct tape earlier. It was funny because I learned on this particular hunt, Band-Aids don't work. You put them over the blister, you pull your sock on, your foot starts to sweat, your side hill, and it rolls it right off and just eats your skin alive. Horrible. But duct tape is a beautiful thing because it's sticky on your blister and it's super slick on the outside. I'm going to tell you, duct tape could be the greatest invention ever, right? It's ironic that Chad mentioned it earlier. I did learn from pain. I learned duct tape. I don't even have Band-Aids anymore. We just carry duct tape for everything. And so if you take nothing else away today, duct tape over Band-Aids. Gotcha? Right? Write that down. That's a big one. All right. So, remember earlier I said we all take pictures of points, the happy times, the happy points, right? So what am I doing here? Why did I want this picture? Because I was done. I was literally, mentally broken. You see, follow me through this analogy, gang. I'll just give it to you. How about that? If I learn the presentation and I prospect, the people will be there and surely they'll let me in. And if I give a good presentation, surely they'll buy and then I'll get commission and surely there'll never be a chargeback and it's all going to be wonderful. So I did my part. It's supposed to happen that way, right? Wrong. Wrong. So on this hunt, surely if I train for 6 months beforehand, if I put on a 50-pound pack, imagine I go walk the Feather River Canyon and go 7 miles and up and down. If I'm in great shape, if I can climb and go, I'm sure to get a ram. Because in my mind, this was about getting the ram. Sometimes for us in this industry, you got to think about the reasons you're really in it and find the right reasons. Some of us get in this industry because we want to be rich, want to make a lot of money. That's a dangerous place to operate from. It's a dangerous goal. Okay? So, what I wasn't prepared for was the mental side. What happens if I do my part every day faithfully and for 8 straight days I don't get the reward, which is what the trip was supposedly about? You lose it up here. And these hurt more, and your legs hurt more, and you're tired, and you miss your home, and you miss your family, and you're done. You're quitting. And so that picture I had him take because I literally stopped at this point and wasn't going to go, we didn't go this way, we went that way, which you had to because the footing was better and that sheer cliff over there and you had to get around it and then around the top, right? And that's important because you tend to look at a mountain and go, well, I want to be there, so I'll just go this way straight at it. And what you learn, follow the analogy, is sometimes you got to find the actual path to get you to the top, which may not be straight to the top. Because if you try and go straight to the top, you could fall and die. So make sure you listen to your guide when they tell you the proper way to get to the top of a mountain. And the path you do need to follow and trust your guide. So I said, I'm done, dude. And I want to know what I look like when I've been broken, when I quit, when it's over. I want a picture right now because I'm going to have to live with this decision for the rest of my life. And I want to know what I looked like at the point of complete exhaustion where I knew I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't climb one more step. I couldn't deal with one more day. I was done. I wanted to go home. I didn't even want to walk down because I was in so much pain. My feet were total hamburger and I was done. And I said, take a picture because I want to know what I look like right when I quit. And what happens, and you realize this, luckily for me I realized it right there. And maybe God spoke to me at that point. He communicates really well when you're up there because there's no TV, no cell phone, no people in your ear. There's nothing but you and everything He created. That's it. And you're just a piece of that moment and that creation. And you're His creation too. So you kind of belong there. Sometimes people goof up and they get eaten. They're part of the food chain when you're out there. And it doesn't get more basic than that. But it hit me, it was a real epiphany as I was sitting there, literally done. Do you know what comes after day 9? Say it louder. Amen. Day 10. You see, what I realized, what was driven into me knowledge-wise, wasn't my idea, it was given to me. This piece of knowledge was gifted to me, maybe so I could share it with you today and you can tie it into what you do, not just in this business but in life, but more importantly for this conference, certainly for this business. Day 10 comes, whether you quit or whether you pick yourself up and endure. Day 10 is coming. Day 9 is going to end. moment will end. This feeling will end. This day will end. And you'll never get that moment back on that day. You'll never get that back. But you know what you get? The rest of your life in front of you. And God's gifted you with a memory so that you can draw from it. And so on day 10 when you wake up, with the rest of your life in front of you and your memory intact, what are you going to remember about your day 9? Did you quit? Or did you endure and find another gear and manage just one more mountain, one more day? 30 more steps. Sometimes it's so steep you count in 30 steps and then take a break. Maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10, maybe 15, but you stay in motion and you stay going. Because day 10 comes. And on your day 10, do you want to wake up knowing you quit or knowing you endured? I don't have to ask for an answer. I don't have to ask for you to shout it out. I just want that to marinate in you for a minute. Because in our business, you're going to have day 9s. Whether you're producing, whether you're building, whether you're the president and CEO of a large IMO, you're going to have day 9. How's day 10 going to be for you? Where are you going to be on day 10? So, I didn't quit. I realized that I had to wake up every day the rest of my life and not know what maybe would have been if I would have endured, if I would have just stuck it out. I thought to myself, maybe I'm about to have a breakthrough. Maybe this is God's way of saying to me, hey man, you've done a great job getting to here. Boy, have I got something for you just over the next ridge. Are you worthy of what I'm about to give you? Are you worthy of what I'm about to bestow upon you? Will you be appreciative of what I'm about to open up for you and expose you to that's going to be amazing to you? If I give you this, are you a good steward of it? I think so. I think so. But let me just try you a little more. Let me just test you a little more and see if you really are or not. Use that to channel the strength inside yourself to endure whatever it is you're enduring on your day 9. Don't quit. People say, don't quit, right? Don't give up. Never ever give up. Never ever quit. You can yell that in my ear all you want, but when I'm right there in that moment, and I'm going to read my journal to you, not just from day 9, but day 8 and day 10. And I want you to feel what I was feeling, and so I'm going to open that up and share it with you. But I want you to understand that people could have said that to me, come on, Mike, get up that mountain. And really, I've been like, done. You need more, folks. I hope I instill in you today something you can draw from. Maybe next week, maybe a decade from now, somewhere in between. Why do I need to endure? Why shouldn't I quit? What extra gear? What are you talking about? Now you know. You gotta wake up. I'm telling you, the pain of waking up a quitter on day 10 is so much worse than just figuring out a way to get through the rest of day 9, get your footing back about you, and really most importantly, that part right there. Get your head screwed back on straight. Get your head back in the game. That's what gets you through. It's mental. You can do it, whatever it is you're trying to do, but mentally you'll tell yourself it's too much. I can't anymore. I did my best. I tried. That's the liar in you. That's the quitter in you. You've got a constant battle going on inside. The winner is fighting the quitter. The winner should win every time. You just got to know they're both in you and control the one you want to succeed. And you can. You wouldn't be alive if you couldn't. So, would you like me to read from the journal that I keep? So every night when I get back to that awesome living quarters I was in, I have a little headlamp. And I write about the day's events, just a little page in here on every hunt from the journal so that years later I can reflect and maybe draw from it however Yeah? Read it? Okay. Can't make fun of me later. You can't make fun of me for this. Your eyesight's going to go, by the way, but if you're not a quitter, you can handle it. All right, I'm going to frame day 9 with day 8 because I want to see if you can follow along with me and feel it building. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because if you're smart, you'll catch day 9 coming on day 8 and maybe minimize day 9 so it's easier to endure. Are you with me there? You understand what I'm saying? Real important. So day 8. It's the last day in spike camp. So what you do is you spike out. If the animals aren't where you're looking initially, you go on horseback to even more remote areas and you take even less food and you both live out of that tent, which is awkward, but you do what you do out there. So last day in spike camp, 2.5-hour ride, very steep, followed by 1.5-hour climb, steep, followed by 4 hours of glassing. Saw mountain caribou, goats, and a few moose, no sheep. I'm ready to leave this area. Apparently locals have camped and hunted in this area. I can't see rams putting up with that kind of pressure. But what do I know? The range of emotions is incredible. I know there are 7 more days, but what if the weather goes bad? What if I don't get a sheep? You see it coming? I'm doubting. I'm questioning. What if I don't? What if I can't? What if it doesn't, right? There's your precursors, folks. I know there are 7 more days, but what if the weather goes bad? What if I don't get a sheep? Then again, I do feel like it'll happen, that it's just a matter of time. Tomorrow's another day, but the riding and climbing are starting to take their toll. I need to at least see some rams and soon. Can you feel it coming? Here it comes. Here it comes, right? I gotta close some sales soon. I feel like it's happening. I see people around me succeeding, but I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't do it. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe I'm not good. Here it comes. I'm writing this with a little headlamp and a tent at the end of every one of these grueling days. So here's day 9. Where do I even begin? We broke spike camp at 8 a.m. The plan was to hunt our way back to the camp. There was a drainage called Coal Creek. We were all going to hunt it. So they hunt you in pairs in case there's an accident, right? So 2 guides, 2 hunters, but you don't know who you're with. I'm telling you that, I'm not reading that part, just to set the stage for you. All right, we were all going to hunt it. However, apparently Jesus doesn't believe in pairing up, even though Ken says they have killed 2 rams many times that way. So Marty and I ride with the pack horses and gear back to main camp while Ken and Jesus turned off to go look at Coal Creek. Marty and I then hiked around 2 hours into Buck's Basin, where Jesus and Ken had already been 5 days earlier, and saw, can you believe it? The same 4 little illegal rams that Ken and Jesus had seen there 5 days earlier. Total waste of time. Would Jesus have gone back with the pack horses and hiked 2 hours into the same basin he was in 5 days earlier? I think not. Why am I being the nice guy? Bottom line is that it is now 10 p.m. and Jesus and Ken are not back. In this country, that means they got a sheep. With the way things are going, I'm sure there was more than 1 legal ram. I should have been more persistent. If he didn't want to pair up, then he should have done Bucks again. I'm done, worn out, frazzled. 6 more days to go, and I can tell you now, I won't end up with a sheep. 2 local hunters rode up into Lynn's yesterday, which is one of the places we were going to go. This is turning into a joke. Even if I get a sheep now, I have a bitter taste from all that has transpired. I guess you have to be negotiating these hunts. Jesus set this whole thing in motion back in January at SCI when he booked a hunt. After me. Good old Mike just wrote a check, smiled, and went with the flow. If you don't catch day 9 on day 8, that's how ugly day 9 is. That's how it goes. Sorry for the couple of swear words. But I woke up. I didn't leave. I didn't quit. I didn't yell and scream. I went to bed. I got it out. I wrote it down. That was just raw emotion. It's how I felt in that moment. It's amazing how raw your emotion is. If you can be honest with your writing at that time, how cool it is to look at when you get back in civilization and caught up in things that oftentimes we think are all too important. They matter. Without this, I would never be able to experience all the great things that that is. But it does help you try and keep it in perspective. So, when you wake up after day 9, it's what? Day 10. Want to hear day 10? All right, here we go with day 10. I must... Geez, I can't even start this. All right. Sorry. I must say that yesterday was most definitely my lowest point on the trip. I'm not pleased with my attitude or the reaction to the pressure of needing to kill a ram. However, I've been open and honest about the feelings, and Marty laughs and says, yeah, most hunters get that way by day 7 if they don't have a ram. By the way, Jesus ended up missing a 250-yard shot at a broomed ram, and he was pretty bummed out, and I felt really bad for him. I got what one might call a second wind this morning. Folks, if you make it through day 9, day 10 gives you an incredible second wind. It really does. I realized that there were only 5 more hunt days after today. I'm going to blink, and the trip I waited all year to go on will be over. I realized that this isn't even about a damn sheep anymore, because I can't control whether they are in the basins I hike into or not. No, this is about completion of a task. It is about accomplishment. It's about finishing, and damn it, I will finish this hunt strong, hard, and proud. If I'm lucky enough to get a ram, great. If not, I know I will have left it all on the mountain. I can begin to see the end of the trip, and I'm actually starting to look forward to flying out of here. I miss Ange terribly, and I miss the kids. Sorry. And the pups, too. As for today's hunt, I hunted Quitter's Basin. They call it that because other hunters have quit halfway in. It's about a 4-hour hike in. Brutal. It takes just over 2 hours to get back down the mountain. I didn't quit. As a matter of fact, I hiked in, hunted hard, glassed and glassed and glassed, saw 6 caribou and 5 sheep, all lambs and ewes, no rams. So what? It's out of my control. It snowed most of the day, kind of cold too. Tomorrow we run Fred's Basin. A 2.5-hour horse ride in, followed by a 5+ hour hike. Bring it on. And then some more, and then the next day, and on, and on, and on, until it's time to go. Because in the end, after day 14, I'll be holding a beautiful woman who loves me very much, and sheep or no sheep, that will be a much better moment than any that this mountain or hunt could have ever given me. I slipped a little yesterday. The tension, the pressure of what if, it got a brief hold on me, but make no mistake about it. I am back and focused. I will finish this hunt with everything I have. I'm so proud of myself. Success or failure no longer rests on harvesting a ram. Hell, it never did. That's day 10. Thank you. See, if you make it through day 9, day 10 will be one of the most beautiful days of your life. But as you can see from that, some of the hardest hikes and days I had ahead of me on this hunt were after day 10. It doesn't matter, because in that moment, once you break through day 9 and get into day 10, you'll take on everything else that's thrown at you. Everything was a little tougher, and everything was easier to accomplish. I was prepared for those moments by the moments that almost broke me. Break through, you get the next ones. It was easier than you'd think. So, I will end with this picture. What is this? This was the last day of that hunt. We came from way over here. There's mountains you can't see. So you get an idea of what this country is. You ride up a long drainage that would run this way, and then there's these long drainages that run up these incredibly steep mountains, and you got to climb up and over and in and all that good stuff. So I never did get a ram on that hunt I was just reading to you from. In fact, on the very last day, we rode into this drainage and we spotted a ram. We were way back here off the picture. He was right here on this little pinnacle, him and a younger ram. So we hiked here. To give you an idea how big the country is, from this point right here to this point right here was 380 yards. That's how long the shot was. It took us almost 5 hours to get in there and to get in position to shoot. There was a 30-mile-an-hour crosswind. But where we were shooting, where I was at, I was protected, and in that time frame, I forgot about it. And so when it came time to shoot, the Rams were nervous, and he was about to take off, and I had one quick shot where he was looking right at me. I was very confident. I was sighted in. I was ready. I put the crosshairs right on and touched off, and it hit just to his left. Why? Those of you who know ballistics know that 35-mile-an-hour wind blew the bullet offline over the course of 380 yards. Heartbreaker. But it really wasn't about the rim. I had said that 4 days earlier. It was about the experience. And so I came out of there without the ram. And I went to a beautiful wife. And I saw the kids. And I had so many great takeaways. And that guy approached me that following January. This was in September. He approached me in January. He said, I want you to get one. You've endured. I'll make you a deal like I've never made anyone else. But this time, we're going to go into a little tougher place. And it'll be a little tougher hunt. And we're just going to hike in with our food on our back, and we're going to push it out of the little bush plane when we fly by because we can't land where we're going, and then we got to hike back to it. And so we did all that. And we were set up for 14 days. And on the 5th day, I got a Boone and Crockett ram. I got a 41-inch ram on the 5th day of that hunt. And it was incredible. It was beautiful. But what's so interesting about it is this. I took this picture on the first day because I didn't know where we were going, and I never thought about where we were. I knew we were in the same 10,000 square mile concession up there, all right? But I didn't know where. So we hike up to the top of this ridge line, which the ridge line I'm taking the picture from looks just like this one. So you come up where you can, and then you get on top and you look into the next basin. My very first day, I get up here from this side, and I look into this basin, and it's exactly where my hunt ended the year before. Exactly where. No, it wasn't the same ram. This one was way better. But how ironic. Chad talked a lot earlier about coincidence. I think not. How ironic is it that I was willing to go back, that I wanted to go back. I felt like the total thing, the experience was awesome, but it wasn't really a fully written book with a final chapter in my weird little mind. And so when I went back, how ironic is it that the very first day I started from where the very last day ended? Do you think that's a coincidence, or do you think I was being spoken to? And I got the biggest smile on my face, and it was a year later, and it was like I'd never left. And as I said, 5 days later, we were into the hunt, we got that ram. I'll tell you another story sometime down the road about what we went through to actually get out of there. But it's ironic that it was right there and we never left. So, in closing, I want to give you all a few takeaways. I'm sure all of you were smart enough to get the analogies, but let me give you a few takeaways. Number one, folks, trust your pilot. They've been there. They're very good at what they do. You may have questions about it. Get over yourself. Trust them. They're taking you somewhere great. Trust them. Number two, trust your horse. They don't want to slip and fall and die any more than you do. So trust your horse. Number three, trust your guide. Trust your guide. Believe me, they are so vested in your success, man. It means more for these guys. In many instances, for a lot of people they take, it means more for them to see the hunt be a complete success than oftentimes it does for the hunters going. And I liken that to what we do. Sometimes I think I want you to win more than you do because I know what it's done for me and it can happen for you too. So I do everything in my power. We do everything in our power to make sure you make it through your day 9. We're here for you on day 9. We might try and tell you on day 8 you're about to have a day 9. We'll be there to celebrate with you on day 10. We're your guide. We want you to complete your quest. It means everything to us. Trust us. Number 4, have fun. What we do is hard enough. Let's not take ourselves or it too serious. I mean, what we do is important, but let's have some fun while we do it too. Your prospects probably like you a lot better too, so will your team. Number 5, try and recognize day 8 happening. And when you find yourself in the middle of day 9, stop, take a breath, and realize there's going to be a day 10. And then it becomes easy because all you have to ask yourself is, how am I going to wake up tomorrow? Only I determine. It's not Lee's fault that I wake up on day 10 a quitter. It's my fault. It's not Lee. Lee's not the reason I woke up a winner on day 10 and endured through day 9. I'm responsible for that. So realize, it's that simple, folks. How are you going to feel tomorrow on day 10 when you wake up? Because you control that. Going back to the Navy picture as a final thought, you know, I can look back on the times that I was adrift at sea in our industry, the times I had day 9 in our industry, the time I put in applications to go to work at Eddie Bauer outlet and places like that because I was going to pack it in and quit. And I can tell you after 30 years, the very few times that happened, and it happened more than once, but I can tell you the 3 or 4 times that it did, I was adrift at sea. I really was. And what I mean by that is, I was not plugged into a system. If I was, I had disconnected. I was not plugged into a system. I was not plugged into a team or a family. I was spreading myself too thin, or I was trying to outsmart the system, take shortcuts. I can't stress those things enough. When I was adrift at sea, those are the things that were going on. When I was streamlined and effective and efficient, I was plugged into a system, I was part of a team, I was part of a family, I wasn't trying to outsmart it, and it was amazing how easy it became. I hope those takeaways resonate with you. I hope sharing resonates with you. I have just 2 words for you in closing. Happy climbing.